Alright everyone, welcome back. This is the WCS Spring 2019 Grand Finals. The best of the best in StarCraft outside of Korea right now. And maybe inside. Let me first introduce you to the challenger. Not usually considered an underdog, but in any series against his opponent, the opponent is an underdog. The Mexican Terran player qualifying through GSL. It is Juanito, also known as Special, and all the other names he used to go by before he liked winning things. And in the top left, if you don't know his name, this must be literally the first StarCraft video you have ever watched, so thank you for joining us. I've already lost him. But the four-time WCS champion, the BlizzCon World Champion, the most accomplished, I think I can comfortably say, probably Korean or non-Korean player at this point. It's Serral from Finland. Region Lock Finland, alright, hashtag. But it's a best of 7 to determine if Special is the challenger. Serral actually an upset loss to his Zerg counterpart Raynor in WCS Winter, which is a little bit of a different format for the event, but still. He lost 4-3. And that was the first WCS he has not won since 2017. But we're back at a classic WCS event, WCS Spring, in Kiev. And leading up to this, by the way, he's been dominating. I'm actually gonna... He 3-0'd Raynor. Spoilers. He 3-1 time, 3-1 Lambo. So no one's gotten close. Serral has decided he tried losing and he didn't like it. We'll see if Special can make him think otherwise. Now, Special's played a lot of TVP throughout WCS Spring, and in GSL as well. In GSL, recently, as we see the Reaper Micro, of course, in GSL he actually beat SOS 2-0-2-0, but he lost to Ragnarok, not known as a top-tier player, but maybe changing people's minds in TVZ. So he used a lot of battlecruiser play, macro cruisers actually. And this is one of the builds. We've seen Special play TVZ, and we've also seen TY play TVZ, which is very close to seeing Special play TVZ because they are such close friends and practice partners, and they have such very, very similar styles. Honestly, if you covered up the names on a lot of games, and you asked if that was TY or Special, it'd be hard to tell the difference. But is this the macro cruisers? Serral so far, not doing anything out of the ordinary. Got a few creep tumors out. He's building up additional queens, but not cutting drones to make sure he has them. There's an overlord already in position. He can see anything coming out down the ramp. And he's going to poke in. And actually, Special not opting for Hellions here. There's the fusion core. Here we go again. Battlecruiser's a legitimate and common choice, even after a slight nerf, because as compared to battlecruisers in the rest of StarCraft II history, if you haven't been following too closely. Battlecruisers with Legacy of the Void, they gain tactical jump, which means they can teleport anywhere on the map without vision every 70 or so seconds. Which is not a short cooldown, but it does make the difference because cruisers don't move incredibly fast. But another big buff, they can shoot while moving. Finally, they've developed the technology for this Terran capital ship to both move and shoot at the same time. And that is actually a pretty huge damage boost. It makes it hard to counter from the ground for sure. Unless you're already prepared. Yamato Cannon still requires research, but the tactical jump does not, and that's a key point. Now, I'm sure Serral knows that Special likes his battlecruisers. Does Serral care? Does Serral feel? Does he have emotions? On occasion. Yamato cannon is being researched. This is a commitment. Four queens being spotted at what? Okay. An interesting choice on the Reaper grenade. He's coming in. The Reaper, almost a full scout, doesn't quite see the lair on the way. But he sees Evo Chambers, Baneling Nest. Hellions now being built up. This will very likely be Battle Mech. Cyclone Hellion out on the map, looking for map control style. Out of special. What are you doing? Why are these Marines here? Serral's like, what? The masterful baits, though. In comes special with the Hellions. The battlecruiser is complete. He's holding it at home. It hasn't been spotted yet. And remember, special went for a 30. He jumps to the main. He's immediately queuing up attacks on the drones. He's going to try to draw the queens out of position and maybe use that to bring in Hellions. So far, not much done. But of course, there's always a kicker. The best way and the most effective way that Terran players have found, it's never what they want you to look at that does the most damage. It's not the big flying laser bathtub in your main. It's the Hellions slipping into your third. Or even the Liberator sieging up on that one corner patch that's so annoying to deal with. Things like that. The little backstabs. The little other moves that are hard to catch, especially if you're distracted. A lot of Hellions now. 2 more factories have been added on. He's continuing to make battle cruisers. Is there enough energy for Contaminate? No tactical group here. Amon watches on very passively. He should be able to eat units. Just grab them. He also serves as an air blocker, so that way units have to pass by in vision range of the watchtower. He's a big boy. Yamato is done. 2 jumps into the main. Oh, infestors are being rushed with Neural Parasite. I've never actually seen... It makes so much sense, but it's almost like a Twitch chat GM strat. Going straight for infestors with Neural. Did he even get pathogen glands? No, he's just like, you know what? You know what one of the best Zerg units is, says Serral? Battle cruisers. He's gonna take them. That's his plan. Like... It's one of those things that on paper seems like such a good idea, but in practice is much more difficult. It could very well work, though. Like, I've never seen someone... A lot of players will go Corruptors, because Hydras are not going to cut it. Hydras are terrible against battlecruisers. They just trail along behind getting shot at by the lasers. So Corruptors are a direct counter. They do extra damage to Massive. And then, Infestors... biggest brain. There's a reason he's the best. I'm pretty sure this is a style that almost every other Zerg has tried once or twice, but it didn't quite work out. And then they kind of fell back to the Corruptor style. He's going Roach, Ravager, Infestor. What year is it? 2015? How does this play out? And Special's going less battle mech and more classic mech with a lot of siege tanks. The battlecruiser is still threatening. Does he have infestors? He doesn't have burrow to hide the Neural even. But there's a jump. Did he just jump home? He jumped 1 battlecruiser home. I'm hearing tactical jumps. Tactical jump has a very, very underwhelming... Oh, he gets one of the infestors! It has a very underwhelming sound for how impactful it is. It looks like, so far, not even a single battlecruiser taken out. Special was able to jump most of them back home, because if you don't grab all the battlecruisers, the other battlecruisers can take out the infestors and break the Neural. The battlecruisers are joining up again. Serral's near 200 supply. Neither player been able to deal... Well, Special has taken very little damage, but he's been trying to deal it out, and mostly shut down at every turn. 5 drones killed for multiple battle cruisers. Oh, Fungal! Oh! That's my commentary. I have the high ground, Cyclones. Yeah, high ground vision is pretty important. Nidus Network on the way. Is he doing Nidus? Okay, Serral. Serral is every person in Twitch chat. Twitch chat GMs, your time to shine. Why don't you just do Nidus Swarm Host and Neural? It's obviously the way to go. Those are... in my Prima strategy guide, they say that's the counter. Also, they went out of business, by the way. I don't feel bad offending them anymore. My bad. Sorry, Prima. Well, the Nidus is spotted. A bit optimistic. Of course, I have to pay respects to Prima strategy guides. Cyclones finding those roaches. The Nidus Network to the south. Just the option. And I really like what Serral's doing. I don't know how intentional it is, but he's not building like 23 swarm hosts. Sometimes you'll see players go swarm hosts, and they go swarm hosts. It's like 3/4 of their army supply. No, 10, 11 swarm hosts, that's just enough to really put a lot of pressure on a Terran without committing most of your army. Oh, the Yamatos come out. Where are the Neurals? Okay, the Neurals haven't worked out thus far. Fungal prevents tactical jump. Very important info. Where's that Nidus? Let's play. Where's that Nidus? All right, there it is. Did Serral? Okay, going full Twitch chat GM. I 100% just heard him run banelings into rocks. 2 spires on the way, because that way you can also get upgrades. Like, get both upgrades and greater spire. Wait. He's not going to make his spires great again quite yet. 9 SCVs go down. I believe to these roaches down here. We're all over the place right now. Another Nidus on the way. Knocks down the barracks with corrosive bile. What? The roaches. The roaches. So sneaky. He does have burrow. The armies are all over the place. This is, I see it with my eyes, but my brain isn't really processing what just happened there. Anyways, another Nidus comes out. The battle cruisers are there. Is advanced ballistics done? It isn't. He just keeps throwing down the Nidus. I mean, he's got 80 drones. Knocks down the Liberator. Special still has great production, but Serral's banking out money. Oh, that's a lot of battle cruisers. How many 8 battle cruisers, 6 infestors. The corruptors are coming out. 3-3 is finishing up on the ground. More swarm hosts popping out. He's building. I don't know if he's building or transferring the spores over, but the siege will begin. At some point, we're going to draw a line in year 0, and there are so many units that can cross it, but not too far. Battle cruisers can jump back and forth. Nidus is like a super warp gate. These Hellions have driven deep into enemy territory and then will die doing nothing. Very sad. Oh, the Yamato cannons! Blasting apart! Why are the swarm hosts here? Everybody's losing track. There's another barracks in the middle of the map. Excuse me. I thought... Deja vu. The Roach Ravager's moving to the south. There are so many things that you could do right now, but it's really hard to decide on which one is the best to focus on. Another barracks dies in the middle of the map. Where Swarm Host usually pops into the Nidus. The battlecruiser to the south, but he can steal them. He has to get them all. He has to get them all. Oh, he's using the fungals and the neural corrosive bile. Beautiful combos from Serral. He uses the tactical jump. I'm actually, well, I mean, that puts it on cooldown. A bit of an awkward exchange. He'll kill many of the battlecruisers as they slip and slide out of the biles. He's just got to use those jumps as soon as possible. Another Liberator's going to be sieging up. Always a kicker with special. It's not in range of the Spore Crawler, but the battlecruisers are taken out. There's been 6 battlecruisers taken out so far. He drops back. There isn't a planetary here at the front. Plenty of tanks. It's 2-2 upgrades, but +2 ship weapons, not mech weapons. 3 battlecruisers. When in doubt, more battlecruisers. It's Bronze League heroes all over again. But Serral is really starting to bank up money. Greater Spire is on the way. +2 flyer attack as well. The Swarm Hosts continue the siege. Roaches and Ravagers. The creep kind of denotes how far Serral has made it across the map. Special struggling to get up to 200 supply. Serral is relentless. Another Nidus. He has money to spare. How many swarm hosts still? He's still got 6. I mean, it's honestly at this point it's just for transport. It's not necessarily to sneak something behind enemy lines. You just move quicker. Oh, he gets a wrap around on the Cyclones. 3-3 is done on the ground, by the way. I made a mistake. It wasn't range. Oh, he does have range and melee attack, but just now finishing Carapace. Interesting. Neuro's 1 battlecruiser, but guess what? Who called in the fleet? This base was cleaned up by Banelings, but the battlecruisers are blasting apart Serral's army. 12 SCVs, 1 down. The battlecruisers taking out the brunt of the expensive units. Serral will rebuild them immediately, but the Banelings are still rolling. Special run! Okay. So, +3 Banelings one-shot SCVs that don't have any armor upgrades. And when you're going mech, you don't get very many armor upgrades. Special spawn, he's got 17 SCVs. I mean, he's got 63 SCVs. He lost 17. Close enough. The battlecruisers cruising to the south. There's still a Nidus here. Finds another one of the worms at the front. The tanks at the back. There's no base here. Serral he was a little bit low on the workers for a time. Scans across the board. How many? He has 6 orbital commands. All right. So, actually, Serral has spent more of his bank than Special. The tug of war continues. At some point, we may mine out the map. Did he notice? He did, of course. Zerglings getting in everywhere. At this point, Special doesn't really need more than maybe 50 SCVs. 50 to 60 is a decent number. Any more and his army supply is too low, any less and, well, he does struggle with income. Serral 2 doesn't need a huge economy. At this point, you're looking at cost efficiency, not how many units you can put on the field. Oh god. Well, the tanks will die. They'll take a lot with them. Another tank on the low ground. Special. Now, he has jump. He has to figure out where those infestors are. The infestors are everything. Scan again. He scans again. Okay. He needs to be able to jump out or be out of range of Neural. And Fungal. Fungal's also important. Will we get a Yamato Valley? He's just keeping tabs. He has the orbital command map hex. Oh, no. Serral! The right click. The Yamato cannon's coming out. The hive is exposed. And he jumps away. What's happening underneath? Well, now it's all dead. What is that? The Zergling takes out a tank. What a hero. The real MVP. So Special deals a lot of damage with that Valley of Battlecruisers. Not critical damage. Serral's still holding on. He's got most of his tech at the natural, a lot less exposed to the battlecruisers. But Special is not pulling his punches. So, do we get ghosts? Or do we just get more battlecruisers? Apparently, according to Special, the answer is more battlecruisers. Really hard to work ghosts in, but that might be the eventual counter. This is that Liberator's not gonna win that fight. Oh, he hires the battle cruisers! Up! He's desperately trying to actually take them out. He uses most of the tactical jumps. How long on tactical jump for the rest? It's a bit of a confusing fight. There are more than enough Corruptors, though. There are 23 Corruptors above. The upgrades, 2-1 on the Corruptors. It's hard to tell exactly how many there are. Is there any other anti-air? Are there Cyclones? Where are the There's one Cyclone. He steals most of the battlecruisers, uses all their jumps. The Yamatos were a little confusing as well. But Serral, pickpocket Special. He took enough of them that the tides turned. Cyclones have to be rebuilt now as some spot anti-air, and that makes them a lot more vulnerable to the ground army. The Corruptors will claim their prize by peeing all over the planetary fortress successfully. And suddenly Special's at 139 supply. The Cyclones are very dangerous to Corruptors, but he just didn't have enough. Special relying a little bit too much on those battle cruisers and not having a supporting ground army. And Serral punished him for it. Now Serral's maxed. He doesn't have a bank, but Special's not maxed. So, one is better. This is happening. There's one swarm host. The lone... If this was the only swarm host, you'd think it was the accidental swarm host, a classic tactic, but it's just the remnant of what was left over from earlier. Infestors. The fungal doesn't catch anything huge. A few Hellions. How much energy on the infestors? He has to be careful, because if he jumps in, he can't jump out. Oh. I mean, damned if you do, damned if you don't. The Ling. Serral's breaking him. Special trying to hold on. But he's not able to max out. He's not able to keep his bases intact. The battlecruisers are fully upgraded, but that doesn't help very much if they're turned against you. He needs vision. He needs to kill those infestors. That is everything. The infestors are everything. The dying breath of the infestor gets a fungal up. Oh my god, are the Neurals there? He uses them! He's got a target down! He uses the tactical jump, and he tactical wins! The Neural, eventually the game-winning move for Serral. He says, well, battlecruisers are so good. Another fine addition to my collection. We're not talking about the trophy this time, just the battlecruisers. Maybe the trophy, though. That, honestly, nobody's surprised Serral wins, but that didn't feel like a terrible game from Special. It didn't feel like he could get anything done. Battlecruisers always seem so scary. Apparently the answer all along was just simply go Neural Parasite Infestors. Every time I go Infestors, they die because I'm moving my whole army into Cyclones. Okay, Serral. Give me something I can use. Do a Roach All-In. Does Special have anything else? In every game in GSL, he went Battlecruiser. Actually, maybe the very last game he played. He didn't. I don't know exactly. But there was a lot of Battlecruiser play, and it wasn't that successful. It feels like it's strong up until it doesn't. I know that wasn't very profound, but it feels like the Zerg is struggling to dealing with Battlecruisers until they get wiped off the map. Just like Serral did there. When you have 25 Corruptors and you turn half the Battlecruisers into your Battlecruisers. But I think an important point was that Serral didn't add on the Spires until well after he got the other mid-game tech. He had Roaches and Ravagers and upgrades and a bunch of Queens and Infestors and Swarm Hosts, and then he's like, now it's time for Spire. Double Spire. But not until he was fully secure against the ground army. Special is going to do a little bit of third base denial here. Temporary, more than likely. Puts down a command center. Special's actually just going to work into the natural. The duel continues. doesn't quite get the block. Oh, Creep Tumor first. He's trying to bait Special so hard. Aw, every Terran. He put it right in his face. Oh my god. That's like putting a red flag in front of a bull. Saying, come on. Come get the Creep Tumor. Come and get it. Special really wanted it. Oh my god. But, so interesting to note that he does... Now, is this because his third base is later, so he won't have creep to it as quickly? Or does he just like putting the Creep Tumor down first? I'm sure by the end of the series we'll have a much greater sample size. He's really focused on that. Queens. He doesn't build 2 queens at a time when he has, well, he's investing in drones, obviously. But he is adding on additional ones. And trying to make best use of them. Very efficient with the Creep Tumors. He already has a plan for which path they're going to go down. Overlord is in a high ground location, which means if there's not like a Viking or high ground vision, he won't know it's there, even though he can suspect it. Yeah. Special vision. Pretty quick layer out of Serral. Starting before the 4-minute mark. Okay, that is a quick layer, not pretty quick. That is quick. He's building more queens. But he's also getting drones. Okay. I was thinking maybe we see a Nidus. Already setting up. Either he saw the Liberator or highly suspects it just from that tiny bit of information. I'm interested to see what layer tech. Maybe just rushes Baneling speed. That's actually a pretty Korean style. Whoa. The Liberator opening up options here for the Hellions, but he's got plenty of queens. 5 queens right now. Also, we can't see it because we're on the fancy professional WCS overlay, but Serral always has a hotkey for all his queens. He is essentially a select all queen hotkey that he uses in times of need. Oh, it is a Baneling speed rush, which gives them more HP and, of course, Baneling speed. So that'll shut down any early timings he might try, especially with bio units. And also, not battle cruisers this game. Not even a single battle cruiser, but it is going to be mech. Double armory on the way. Is it battle mech? He's a little late on adding on. He adds double armory third base before more factories, so Special has to really try to keep Serral honest with minimal units. Taking down the rocks that are such a pain, because there's a vision blocker on these bushes as well, so you can't see things like tanks behind it. It appears Serral either feels this attack coming or saw it. Well, we'll see it for sure soon. And by feels, I don't mean he has some divine illumination, okay? He knows that even with a third base, there can be a timing attack around that 6-minute mark. And that's why he has Baneling speed done. He's got 60 drones. Upgrades just started. He's actually a little behind Special with mech. Wait, what's happening here? You gotta... This has become the Liberator. What am I seeing? Uh-oh. Well. What do my eyes say about what's happening? Well, Serral finds the third. The Reaper actually survived to this point to deny a 4th base for a little longer. Battle mech it is. Magfield accelerator for the Cyclones. There's actually... Serral is skipping roaches and hydras. Once again, straight to infestate. Viper rush? No, Swarm House and then Vipers. He can go Swarm House and get a hive at the same time. and infestors. At this point, I'm just saying all the things. Or maybe he just didn't know it was mech and is getting a roach one. I don't know what I'm talking about. Wait, what did you cancel there? Oh, I think it was a spore crawler. He's realizing now, not battle cruisers. Second spore crawler was to help deal with battle cruisers, but there are no battle cruisers, sadly. It's a lot of Hellions. The banelings come rolling in. The queens come marching down. It did open up this little area as well. So special that the amount of space he's given to the finisher is dangerous. He's got 72 drones. He's going straight up to 5 bases. Creep spread across the board. Infestation pit is done. Overlord speed coming up. Special does have a supply lead, but I think that is a little bit misleading because of the unit compositions. The baneling's coming around the back. He's going for the flank! The smash! Oh! The things that only work in the playbook come together. He crushes it. Ling Baneling smashing Hellions and Cyclones. Well. That was bad for special. Brenda, what are we doing out here? There's like only one place without creep, and this is where you lead us. Why do you always have to point these things out? Okay? Everywhere else has creep. We'll get it. Just worry about it tomorrow. The Zerglings, the counterattack. Even against blue... Somehow Serral is making Zerglings dangerous against upgraded Blue Flame Hellions. Blue Flame Hellions are considered the hard counter. Nothing is quite so sure when this man is involved. But here come the Banelings. This is a little more oh my god, he's just... Okay, well that's not happening. Still catching the army in the center of the map. Despite all the... Does he have a hive? Serral doesn't have a hive. He'll be getting a hive right now. Oh my! Special with the kicker in the back. He's gonna get a hive right now, right? What are these Marines doing? Unupgraded Marines, he has them left over. The Liberator, a little confused, as many of the Liberators have been this game. But Special strikes back. Oh, those Marines are super dead. The hive is the next step. Vipers, upgrades, potentially greater spire. The creep is still good. But Special has 77 SCVs. He's going to 4, but if he can hold on to this base, he forgot his engineering bay. Like, why isn't it a planetary? Special also asked, why can't I build a planetary? Because he didn't have an NG bay yet. That could cost him the timing, to be honest, before he has maxed out supply. And make him more vulnerable to counterattacks. That's a nice tank hit. That's a nice tank volley. A swarm host coming in from the top, but they'll be boxed out. The Ravagers coming in, making great use of this. Corrosive Bile. Beautiful dodges. Turns it all around. Serral's still not going for hive. He's relying on these mid-game lair tech units. Special with good spotting here. Does Serral know about the base in the center? He's about to. Still a handful of Zerglings. There's the planetary on the way. The Hellions will find this. The creep's still good. This time, 14 swarm hosts. Spire's on the way. There's the hive. Serral has his target of tech he's trying to hit. But Special has put a lot together. Like, he's nearly maxed out. These tanks will probably die. Well, or not. Blue Flame Hellions. Pretty good. Pretty good. But here comes Serral. Another wave. Oh, 2 waves. He didn't expect the follow-up. Those tanks are going to fall, along with a lot of SCVs. Big counterattack. Serral actually a bit late on the hive, in my opinion. And he's really trying to buy time. He will be successful. Oh my god, the corrosive biles. 2 tanks immediately. Here come the Lings. The Banelings trying to get in front. Special not paying. He does split a little bit, actually. He's continuing to push forward. Zerglings in production. 2-2 is done for the mech army. He's got a lot of Liberators as well. There's no direct anti-air besides Queens. Of course, once they siege up, then the Corrosive Biles can knock him down. 21 SCVs went down, but Special still has 60. That's fine. He's got to be just very careful about splitting his Liberators. The Hive is done, but the Greater Spire's a long way off. The Swarm Host from the top. The army is being picked apart. There's only one tank left. The Queen's holding the line. The Transfuse is more than enough. The Liberators, what are you doing with the Liberators? Siege the Liberators or don't. Make a decision. The Queen's caught off creep again. What are you doing with the Liberators? I guess he's looking to kill Locust, but they're nowhere to be seen. He's on the third. Serral pushes him back. Almost loses the orbital. 9 more SCVs. It's getting too much to handle here. The Queen's holding the line. Where are they shooting us from, Brenda? I can't see them. Did you put your reading glasses on? No, they're just like 15 range away. Who designed this shit? The Liberator's still looking for an opportunity. They might... No. The only thing I can think of is they're actually the counter to the Locust here. Because they do the splash damage against light. But apparently not enough. He's going to be forced back. The Link's slipping in. Still looking for an opportunity. He's got 2-1. Oh my god. Siege up the Liberator. Do something. The Queens are in position. The real MVPs, they're the only true anti-air that Serral has had this entire game. Ooh, the Hellions find an opportunity. Serral gonna lose some drones, not a critical amount. So many Liberators. He can't really siege them up because when they stand still, that's when Corrosive Bile becomes effective. Special does see these Locusts coming in. He does have a sensor tower. Many of them will die before hitting the ground. Many will die immediately upon doing so. A Roach and a Ling will drag an entire Terran army back for a few more seconds. The Greater Spire's done. The Broodlords begin. Unfortunately for Serral, he's maxed out, so he's got to fix that. You got to get rid of more Roaches than that, Serral. Corrosive Bile's knocking down Liberators as soon as they siege up. Just a handful of them. It's a little bit of an odd scenario. He's making more Broodlords as he loses Ravagers. There's a Hellbat here. All the Queens are tied up in this location. How many Corruptors are there? None. That's not very many Corruptors. The counterattack coming in. Banelings connecting with some things. Swarm Host onto the Planetary at the 4th. He will be in position to deal with it. The Broodlords will push back the mech army. One base went down for Serral. He's down to 70 workers. Special still has 70 himself, but he doesn't have another mining location. The main is essentially mined out. He's out of gas there, too. The natural drying up. That's the one downside of mules, is you mine out quicker. The Swarm Hosts are caught. They've kind of overstayed their welcome now, to be honest. He really needs Broodlord Infestor. The March of the Queens continues. Why are we here again? Didn't we just creep this? So many Liberators, they're actually pretty effective against the massive Corruptors. Another base goes down. The Hellions chasing down Swarm Hosts. So Special's done a very good job of isolating. 2 more bases go down, but Serral just keeps expanding. For every base Special kills, 2 seem to crop up. The Broodlords are now going towards one of Special's only mining locations. He's gonna bring everything back. The Queen's underneath! The Queen! Broodlord army! The Queen's finally on the front lines, ready to take their revenge. The base is given up. He's trying to deal with the reinforcements, but the Banelings are rolling through. The tanks are not siege. The Corruptors are here. If they're spread out, the Liberator's not going to do nearly enough. He has +1 flyer as well. The army crumbles. The base shattered. The Vikings are actually pretty helpful right now. The supply plummets. Serral Not doing so hot himself, but much better than Special here. Serral bent, but he didn't break. More Broodlords being made at the doorstep. The Queen's chilling. He sees them. Serral takes game 2. Special taps out. I feel like the hive was late from Serral, but Special couldn't find an opportunity to really press the issue. He was hesitating. I bet Special expected the hive to be quicker too. Like, he just kept his bases locked down for too long. And even though Serral lost bases, it wasn't... He can build more. Very interesting mid-game style out of Serral. Like, he rushed up to lair and then delayed the hive. It kind of looked like he wanted to end it before going to the later game like the Broodlords. But he had enough presence of mind and patience to be like, you know what? It's a Broodlord game. Special, I feel like that actually felt closer to me than game number 1. It felt like he had the tools to potentially get enough done. Because Serral wasn't maxed, he wasn't banking, he didn't have the end game army. It just never really came together. Special never really could put the attack together when he needed to. I'm a tiny bit surprised that there isn't a barracks out on the map. Or 2, or 3, or even 4. Not 5, though. 5 would be ridiculous. You can't afford that. Now, Serral is sending his overlords out to scout specifically for proxy racks. He's even checking the location in the center, where sometimes players will be like, well, if you're scouting for proxy racks, I'm going to put them right down the middle in the unscouted location. The mind games of scouting for proxies have advanced dramatically and also not advanced at all at the same time. The beauty of StarCraft. The Reaper... Wait, did you just scout for a proxy hatch? Did you... Either he's looking for the Overlord placements, like if the Overlord's coming that way. I'm pretty sure Special... I mean, it's probably just reflex, and he does it every game. Did you see that? What the hell was that? Reaper has hops. But, yeah, no proxy hatch out of Serral. If this was Scarlet, maybe it'd be a little different. Oh, the grenade not on point. Serral once again. Creep tumor first. Oh. It's time. Does Serral have what it takes for the Ghostbusters? He's doing Ghost Hellbat, almost a troll build. But then that's what people said about battle cruisers. It worked. No, what? No, oh God, oh. It's a disaster. Well, that is probably the worst thing that could have happened. And it was one Zergling. The Academy was already done. but no ghosts have been built. That was probably the best timing to ever scout that. Oh, no. Immediately, Serral builds a Baneling Nest, just to make sure he has options against Hellbats. Oh, what a save!
What a save!
The transfused timing, because Ghosts do 170 damage, Queens have 175 HP. He transfused up to full just to survive the snipe. And, oh my god. Serral, you need to calm down. Even his Zerglings and his Queens are unstoppable, let alone any other units. Another snipe. He does get the double tap there. The snipe's still very good. He's assassinating Queens left and right. Another snipe! Ooh, you see why Ghosts, like, they're pretty good. The Queen's falling. But he can't press the issue yet. He's still building more Queens. There's a lair on the way. I'm not sure, maybe just for Baneling speed. Because there's no way he goes Cloak for the Ghost. That would be silly. Because kind of wastes all your energy. So Special is going to transition into straight up Bio. Serral has not as many drones as you'd think. Mostly because he was forced to really cut drones and produce. The Zerglings and... Well, this is bad. You might be able to save most of them. He does. He only loses 8 SCVs. That could have been way worse. It probably will get worse. But... what a timing. What a timing. Unfortunately, the NG bays weren't at the wall. A lot of those SCVs have gone through some trauma. And that could come back to bite him if he doesn't repair it all. I'm like, this is already so rough for Special. The supplies are near even. If he can't pressure, he does have upgrades. He still has Ghosts, which are pretty good. But Baneling speed, 75 drones. Special once again with incredible macro. Has 57 SCVs of his own, despite losing all those. But, well, 1-1 is done. Baneling speed is done as well. That is a key factor here against the tanks. The problem is... Whoa. Wow, that was impressive. Those Marines just dancing out of the way. Nicely done, but... Serral's gonna explode. Okay. With 75 drones, 4 bases... his supply is gonna shoot up. Usually it stays around even in this matchup. But he already has the 4th online. Injects across the board. Well, can we catch a Serral inject? Go into the Serral action cam. Alright. He actually did it already on his other hatches. I missed it. My bad. I think I caught it, but I wasn't paying attention. The surround is there. He has to pick up, he has to get out. Already enough Lings and Banes for map control. Oh, whoa, that is a dangerous game. Special really trying to make some headway. Oh, Brenda! We've been through this! I will haunt you from the grave even more than the damn ghosts. A bad thing not working out for the queens there. But, you know, I expected Serral to be maxing out. He did go for Hive Tech instead of just a massive amount of units. And of course, he still has a strong amount of units. But Special, he's got 66 SCVs. He's got his upgrades actually a little ahead of Serral. So he has the tools. Did he scan the Hive? He hasn't even seen the main base this game. There's a lot of creep to work through. The legacy of the queens. A lot of Lingbane. Oh, how fast does Cecil? Oh, God. Ooh. There's a drop at the back. This is what Special is so great at. If he can just get his drops rolling, even Serral's gonna struggle. He just needs to get a little bit of space. There's already Vipers on the way. A lot of Hydra Lingbane. Special doesn't even know where the army is. Oh, no. It's actually not in a great spot for him. It's a lot of Lingbane. The Vipers aren't out yet. The 2-2's not done for either side. The upgrades are even. A lot of the medevacs take some big hits, but the tank's in a good spot. Many Banelings about to break through. Serral has escalated. There's a drop at the back. The Baneling's coming into the third. Special pulls away. Do we have enough units to deal with this? He's not paying attention here because he has to pay attention over here. You have to make decisions. The drop is cleaned up. The medevac will survive. The tanks can target down the Banes. Where are the Vipers? 2-2 is done for Special. Serrals is closing in. Where are the Vipers? Here they are. Special trying to find an angle. As he just yanks the tanks. They still get a couple hits off of that. He's got one more abduct. Oh, doesn't quite get it. Uses a blinding cloud with his dying breath. And that could turn the tide. Special down to 124 supply. Still badly bruised medevacs here. Still so many Hydras, Lings, and Banes. The heart of the swarm. Serral's not stopping. The fourth base, is now just a dream. Ultralisk Cavern finish, by the way. Chitinous plating coming up. He can get ultra speed for his Usain Bultralisks. And then Special, like, there's nothing left in that. He does have a Ghost Academy already. So there's that. But that's about it. +3 on the way. No +3 for Serral, but he's gonna have the ultras. The creep has not been slowed down. He just keeps rebuilding it with the queens he's pulling out of who knows where. He's desperately... who knows where? Their creep tumors queued up. Where are the queens coming from? I don't know. Anyways, the drop comes in. The drop goes out. You can't explain that. Where are the queens coming from? They're still queued up. Not again! Every time! Who is this guy? And how does he win things when he does this to us? Oh, and the Banelings! Special too slow! There's no way to keep up! The medevac's being slaughtered! The fourth base is gone! The SCV's obliterated! The Ultralisk has joined the field, telling him that 2 Gs are in his future! There it is! Serral takes 3 in a row. The Ultra didn't even need to attack. Just showed up to the party and notified Special that it was time to leave. Once again, Special getting to a point where it looks like he might be able to take back some momentum. But it just doesn't quite come together. Serral doesn't give him the time to breathe. You could see there the drops. He started trying drops, but it wasn't it. Like, he didn't have the time to really get him going. It's a thing to behold. Some of the most entertaining TVZs are Special and TY, much like him. when they can get their multitasking rolling, when they get the drops and the liberators and the attacks from multiple angles. And we saw that in some of Specialist TVP. But Serral's just almost stopping him before he starts. Now, for match point, for what could be the final game, does Special go back to the cruisers? The Ghost, like, if the Zergling hadn't scouted it, I don't know how much would have changed, but it would have been better, obviously. But a single slow Zergling, like, you can't let them in. You can't let them just come in and see all the things you're hiding. Your silly Ghost Academies. You can't just let one Zergling into your base. Yeah, Serral losing WCS Winter in a hard-fought 4-3. Does not seem to be interested in losing any more tournaments. He also lost in WESG 4-3. Wait, was it 4-3 or 4-2? Against Innovation. It was one of the two. I definitely cast it as well, so I should probably know. That was just a couple months ago. So the slump looks like it may be over. And for Serral, slumping is taking second place in major high prize pool tournaments instead of first. Special, I'd be hard pressed. No matter how many barracks you build in sneaky locations, no matter how many battle cruisers, 4 in a row is almost unprecedented in any sort of tournament of this scale. It's going to be a quick Hellion drop. Now that isn't a bad option, this map with a huge main base where you can probably sneak in a medevac from the right angle. You can use the Reaper to scout ahead as well. Oh, Special, you're only building one Hellion. Special supply blocked. Okay, he undid it. Did he drop supply or something? I don't... So a little bit off timing. Couple more Hellions coming out. The Overlord will spot him. And Serral's already moving into his main with an Overlord in position. Serral knows. Of course he knows. And the drop is stopped before it starts. Gonna deny a little bit. He gets a creep tumor. That's his consolation prize. There are queens over here too. Serral has 4 queens going up to 6 and counting. Special. He got 1 creep tumor. That was it. He sees something building out of here. Spore crawlers will be built. What key information will this one Zergling scout? The continued addition of Hellions, no third base at the front. Unfortunately, the Spore Crawler is going to finish, like, literally when the Liberator gets here. Oh my god. But the Hellbats are in the main. He already has Baneling. Come on! Somebody take his keyboard away. Oh, the Hellions are getting through. Oh, and he blasts him with an Evo Chamber! The Liberator does find an angle. So, not untouchable, but a lot of the Why are there Zerg? Serral does as much damage as Special did with all of his units. He does more damage with like 4 Zerglings. Are you kidding me? Serral, somehow he seems to get better each game when he was already incredibly good. The starport was out on the map, which means it has to be flown back. The upgrades are late. The creep has been barely slowed down. Now this could do damage. Finally. Another Evo Chamber! Oh my god. The reaction time. I can't stress how hard that is to do successfully. And not look like an idiot when the Hellions just get through and you lose all your drones. Special is about in the same place he was in last game, but worse, with later upgrades and less tech. He's got a little bit of bio, some tanks and medevacs. A third. But he has less workers, less upgrades, less units. So, and last game, Special didn't go so great for him. It was okay, but it didn't end very well. Baneling speed is already done. The march of the creep continues inexorably. There's not even combat shields yet. 5 seconds off. The counterattack is there. Oh my god. The bait and switch. Oh, are you kidding me? Serral's just showing off now. Oh my god. I don't even care what's happening down there. Look at what he did. The vast majority of the Zerglings. Oh. Now that isn't a great engagement. Special taking a good fight. Special strikes back. Once he has 1-1 done, he has a very realistic possibility of dealing with this. He can take out this base. It is a 5th, not a 4th. 1-1 is done. He has the Hellbats in front to soak damage. So Serral may be getting a little too cute. Another counterattack coming across. Gonna be spotted. Now, does Special actually know about this base? He doesn't know the 4th was already taken and that was a 5th. But that's such important information. He needs to know that. Where are the medevacs? Where are the medevacs? Pick them up! Oh no. Okay, these banelings will be shut down. There's Zerglings everywhere. It literally feels like a campaign mission right now. Just keep coming. Except it's just one man. The banelings are coming in. You don't get a rest. You don't get a second to breathe. You don't get a second to set up your siege line. Oh, nice. He gives up 2 SCVs for the cause. Acceptable losses. How many tanks? 1. That's not enough. 2-2 is on the way for both sides. Muscular Augments is finishing up. Hydra Speed. I don't know. I don't like this. It's a huge gamble. He has to target the banelings perfectly. He has to target the banelings It's a massive gamble. He's losing a lot of map control here. He's just trying to drag units in, but he's gonna lose 1 tank. Unfortunately, the units aren't able to join up from the drops. They're kind of just on the sidelines. And Serral crushes the army at the front. The drop comes back in. Serral didn't expect him to commit quite so hard. There are no banelings with Serral's reinforcements in the main. He's targeting the hive. Can he get it? Without banelings, it's still not enough. +2 attack is done on the Zerglings and Banes. Speaking of. Special has a good economy, but... Uh-oh. This could be a problem. 7. 9. 14. There was nothing else happening. No counterattack, no drop, no liberator. Hive is already done. Adrenal glands on the way. +3 melee attack. He's throwing in some swarm hosts. I'm not sure if that's on purpose. The accidental swarm host or swarm hosts. 2 swarm. Special still with a lot of army supply. He's finishing up 2-2. It's now or never, really. He's not going to get the 3-3. He doesn't have a Ghost Academy on the way. This is the last chance he's going to have before Hive Tech starts kicking in. And then he has to weather that. There are Vipers. They're starting to build up that energy. So at 82 drones. The drops come in again. What did you expect him to leave? Oh no! Things are falling apart. Serral is coming. Lings and Veins and Hydralisks. He doesn't even need the Vipers yet. Where are the tanks? Where are the tanks? He only has 2 on the map. Lightning Cloud gonna be very helpful. He morphs Banelings in his face. He just waves a hand in front of... Heck, come and get me. Come and get me. He can't. Okay, he can. A little bit. Yeah. Okay. That was a little optimistic. That's fair. The wall holds for now for Special. He's at 185 supply. Lightning Cloud is good. He's got to be very careful those units don't get accidentally pushed into the Banelings. A great positioning from Special. He's holding the line for now. A few more Banelings trickling through. Another Blinding Cloud. Widowmine coming in. Lings swarming. Just drawing the Widowmines into the army. Another tank. Another round of bio. Where are the Blinding Clouds? They're at the front. But there are no more Banelings with this. The Drilling Claws is done, which means the Widowmines, he needs detection. The Blinding Cloud will hold the tank down, but there's enough bio. The Widowmines trying to get on top of the Hydras. They will be cut off from retreating. There was a little bit of drone damage done. I think there was a Widowmine drop or something along those lines. But Special holds. Solid micro. But how does he capitalize on this? He didn't die. That's all we can say. He doesn't have 3-3. Serral already has 3-2, going on 3-3. Ultra's Cavern on the way. Adrenal Glands is done. There's no Liberators. There's no Ghosts. There's no upgrades. And by that I mean there's not 3-3. So Special didn't lose, but that's a long way from winning. The main base is lifted to the gold. He's got to go for gold. Even one of the rocks isn't taken down. Come on. Widowmine drop coming in. Drilling Claws makes it harder to dodge. 7 drones. And a chunk of Lings. Oh, that Widowmine could be huge, but Serral sees it. The Widowmines are key. Here come the Lings and Banes. He's just bringing a few out. The upgrades are so good. Nidus Network is on the way. Special has to micro his heart out. And even then, not enough. Sends out a double drop, looking for an opportunity. If Special can just get into a position where he can actually use these drops. The Widowmine's being eaten by the Hydras, but not a huge deal. He just needs to keep them off the Banes. Speaking of Banes, hello. Here comes the rest. Oh, big hit? Not big enough. Where's the army? Where's Special's army? Well, that answers my question. Serral, 4-0. The king is back. A crushing performance beating Raynor 3-0, the guy who beat him in the last finals. And then Special 4 going 7-0 through the round of 4. Long live the king. What do you think? Will Serral continue his dominance? That's 5 WCS championships in less than 2 years. Far less than 2 years. Or, does someone else have a chance in the world? Something Alpha Star. But he wins again. If you enjoyed my commentary and coverage and all those exciting things, like and subscribe and all that. But of course, there's more Serral games to check out in first person. I'll probably be doing some first person breakdowns from some of the other games in WCS Spring. But thank you for watching. And thank you to Serral for showing us the way.